I can remember vividly. I was a little girl with pigtails and bows on each one. I was standing in the kitchen, surrounded by pale yellow walls. And right there over the oven were words that were engraved based on what my mother's perception of herself was. One said, "I'm the queen of this kitchen. I reign supreme. If you don't like it, starve." There was another one that said, "Today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday." And then there was one saying that she would always say, but it wasn't on the wall. "Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is your best." You see, my mother was my first example of a queen. Way before you and I were even born. My mother had this self-love, self-affirmation mentality. She had it going on. You see, my mother, she walked like a queen, like Nefertiti. She smelled like a queen, like sweet honey. But on Sundays, it was Elizabeth Taylor's Diamond or Flower Bomb. She even spoke queenly, real calm yet commanding. You see, when you called Trinity 18096, you would get a message that said, "Hello. You reached the house of love, joy, peace, and happiness, health, wealth, and wisdom. Leave a message if you will. Love." And then sometimes you would find my mother standing in the kitchen, putting the finishing touches on our meal. And she would always wear these aprons that were full of color around her 25-inch waistline. And then you would hear her say something like, "Brenda Lee, Stephanie Gail, Portia Marie." And we come running to the kitchen, right into this aroma of one of our favorite meals, chicken and dumplings, with a string bean pot on the side, seasoned to the teeth. And we would stand there sometimes and my mother would start singing and we would chime in. "Smile the while and give your face a rest. Stand up straight and elevate your chest. Reach your arms up to the sky as you watch them passing by." You see, in our household, we had assignments. Someone had to set the table, wash the dishes, dry the dishes, and sweep the floor. But my assignment was, and I could hear her say, "Portia, go tell your daddy it's time for dinner." I would run into the living room because I loved my assignment. And my daddy would be sitting right by the fireplace, by the big window, and he would either be reading his newspaper or his Bible. And I would say, "Daddy, Mama said it's time for dinner." And my daddy would come in and sit down at the head of the table. My daddy enjoyed every single meal my mother prepared. He would sit there and close his eyes, and a smile would come on his face. I learned back then that a way to a man's heart was through his stomach. I also discovered at an early age that queens should be gifted. You see, every time my daddy got paid, he would either bring my mother some roses, some beautiful gloves, a handkerchief, a pendant, just to say thank you so much for making my life, my home life, worthwhile coming home to. And then my mother would sensually lean over sometimes and kiss him on his lips and leave her red Maybelline lipstick mark. You see, my mama knew how to handle her business. But I also discovered that queens don't always smile. Queens cry too. I remember when Martin Luther King Jr. passed. My mother was sitting there in the living room on the couch, and tears were dripping down her face, as if she really knew him. And then her right hand went up when Mahalia Jackson started singing, "Precious Lord, take my hand." Yep, that's it. I also discovered later what those tears really felt like. Because my tears began to shed when my daddy's life came to the end of its journey. You see, my life with my daddy was my everything. But my daddy suffered from obesity, diabetes, back then known as sugar, high blood pressure. Then he had both of his legs amputated. And due to him being on medication for a number of years, his organs began to shut down. And then finally, Daddy was gone. But his death certificate said heart failure. Years later, in 2007, it was a hot summer day in July. And my mother had a heart attack and a heat stroke. You see, I talk to my mother every day, sometimes twice a day. But on this day, my mama didn't answer the phone. Her sisters were calling her. They talked every day. My siblings were calling. We talked every day. Neighbors called. No answer. So my sister and my older brother decided to go by the house and see what was going on with Mama. When they got there, they discovered that Mama was laying by the front door foyer in a pool of urine. Not a queenly look. But Mama was determined that that was not how she was going to check out. Because on the phone answering machine were messages of love. Love you, Mama, love you, Mama, love you, Mama. Love you, sis, love you, sis, love you, sis. Love you, Mama Mac, love you, Mama Mac, love you, Mama Mac. All she heard was love. Of people calling all day, but she couldn't get to the phone. Love kept her alive. However, in 2008, we had a celebration of elevation for my mama. She got her wings. And we sent our queen off like royalty. Mama loved music. She was a master musician. So on the side of her casket, we had a treble clef made into flowers. A G clef made out of flowers. And on the left-hand side was a grand piano made out of flowers. And she loved wearing big hats. And so her casket spray was one of her big hats covered with flowers. When I tell you we celebrated my mama at the beginning of her service, we had African drummers. And at the end, we went out on Going Up yonder. We sent her out like royalty, the queen that she was. Now, like you, like me, we've all had several moments in our lives when we didn't feel queenly. In 2019, my two younger sons decided that they were going to move to Atlanta to pursue their dreams and finish off their education. And I remember December the 15th, around 10 o'clock in the morning, I received a call from my son, Azel, my middle son. And I answered the phone, hey, babe. Hey, Mom, how you doing, OG? I'm like, I'm good. What's up, babe? He says, Mom, I feel like I'm just sitting on top of the world, like everything is all coming together. Producers and other rappers are trying to do business with me. Me and my boy are getting ready to join forces and start, buying some property. And me and my girl, we're doing real good. I'm about to be a daddy. And Mama, I just feel like I can't even explain it. I'm getting ready to make you proud. And I say, baby, you already made me proud. No. Mom, you don't understand. You ain't seen nothing yet. I can't even explain. I'm getting ready to go to a higher level that I can't even comprehend. But anyway, I just called to say, I love you. And I said, I love you too, baby. 6 hours later, I get a call from his younger brother, Encore. Hey, babe. Mom, what? Azel's been in an accident and they took him to Grady Hospital. Okay. I call the hospital. Yes, I'm calling to check on my son, Azel Lockett. I understand that he's been brought in. Well, let me transfer you to the emergency department. Hold on. A unit clerk answers the phone. Hello? Emergency department. Yes. My name is Portia Lockett, and I'm calling to check on my son, Azel Lockett. I understand that he's been brought into the emergency department. What's your phone number? Somebody's going to have to call you back. No compassion at all. Well, like mothers do when you find your children in a situation where they need prayer and only God can handle this, you begin to pray, Father God, in the name of Jesus, I command you to do what only you can do. Turn this thing around, God. Only you. And then the phone rings. Hello? Mrs. Lockett? Yes? I'm sorry to tell you that your son did not survive. Tears begin to come down my eyes like the Nile River, non-stop. So I said, can my son and his girlfriend come and see him? Now, mind you, this is 2020, right in the middle of COVID. And they weren't allowing anyone to come into the hospitals unless you were an essential worker. But God granted us favor. He allowed them to go in. And I can still hear their cries now. I was in Detroit. They were in Atlanta. So my oldest son, Ace, and I got on the first plane smoking. Later to discover that there was some misinformation. They shared with us that my son had been shot in the back and he bled out. I get a call from an Atlanta newspaper. Mrs. Lockett, yes? Would you like to make a statement regarding your son being murdered in Atlanta? Would you like to make a statement? Another statistic of a black man being killed? Are you kidding me? I was distraught. I was angry. I was like, what? The next day, I'm sitting down in the coffee shop at Starbucks, having a cup of coffee, and I hear this message of God in a poem form come into my spirit. And it simply said, be still. Be still, be still, be quiet. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. I said be still. Not just your body, but your mind. You see, I'm making a transaction here. What I placed in the universe, I'm now making a withdrawal. Azel's assignment was complete, but I'm sending you a deposit. Be still and wait. Well, July the 19th of 2021, my granddaughter, my princess, growing up to be a queen, was born. Now let's go back to that time. We're now in Detroit at the viewing of my son. And only 20 people at a time could come in. But for 4 hours, I stood next to my son's casket as people from all walks of his life, my life, his father's life, his friend's life, our family, people from all over who we hadn't seen in years, came out in the middle of the cold, standing outside for 30 and 45 minutes to come in and greet us and pay tribute to my baby. And I stood there by his side, not feeling queenly, but I held my head up straight and I crossed my arms and greeted every single person that came in. There were so many other times when I wasn't really feeling like a queen. At times I would write myself letters and write myself affirmations. I'm always sending out encouraging message to other people, posting on Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff, making everybody else feel good. But at this time I wasn't really feeling good myself. So what I had to do is I had to have a talk with Portia in the mirror. I had to reclaim my queenness. All the stuff that I would say to all the other queens that I surround myself with, I had to speak to Portia. I had to go into my closet, pull out one of my letters that I had written to myself and begin to read it and remind myself of the queen that I am. And so I want to share it with all of you. When I look at you, sister, when I look at you, I see an amazing woman that is sure of herself. When I look at you, my sister, I see a woman that knows how to walk in the room and change the climate. And when you walk in the room and there's a chill of coldness, you know how to bring the warmth. And when it's a little heated, my sister, you know how to bring the cool, fresh air. And when I look at you, but when I really look at you, yeah, I'm talking to you, I see a pause and won't stop until it's done in excellence. When I look at you, my sister, I see a sister that will push me when I'm stuck and pull me up when I'm down. When I look at you, my sister, I see a sister that is a multitasker. I see a sister that rises up, giving God praise, kissing the kids and hubby, making sure that mom and them are all right, and auntie and everybody is all right, then running to the classroom, the boardroom, the operating room, the design room, helping a sister out in the courtroom. But then, knowing how to come home and taking care of business in the bedroom. And then getting down on her knees, thanking God for the day in her prayer room. When I look at you, my sister, I see a sister that knows how to turn nothings into somethings, taking someone else's trash and turning it into her treasure and making it a home. When I look at you, my sister, I see a sister, I see a queen sister that knows how to take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and turn it into a big old feast that'll make Martha Stewart and Emerald go, When I look at you, my sister, I see a sister that don't have time for no family feuds because you're focusing on what we as sisters, as queen sisters, can build together. If given the right resources, we can revive this city if we all come together. Because we are the ones that reminisce on the fact that our ancestors were the ones that helped build the pyramids in their blood, sweat, and tears. When I look at you, my sister, I discover that we can do anything. When I look at you, my sister, I see a sister that is giving and forgiving, trusting and trustworthy, blessed and a blessing. When I look at you, my sister, let me just sum it all up. I see love. Yes. I see love. I see queenie love. Because ain't no love like a sister girl's love, like a queen sister girl's love. Because a queen sister girl's love that is sure of herself, that love never, ever stops when you're a queen. Thank you.